All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Self-Care Saturday here at Life of Joy Foundation. This is founder and executive director, Life of Joy Cortina. I'm still waking up this morning, but it is our first Self-Care Saturday snippet, as we're going to call it, for our Spring Rise Up campaign, which we just kicked off last week. And it is April 9th. And so today I'm going to be kicking off this series. I have a guest that I'm going to be bringing on screen in just a moment to help me kick off this series. But we are going to be featuring a whole realm of topics and events and be sharing about different initiatives that we're doing within our Life of Joy community and amongst our community partners. We're going to be featuring different mental health professionals, wellness practitioners, and as I mentioned, different community organizations that have things going on in this realm for holistic mental health and suicide prevention. So as with everything with Life of Joy, that's our focus for this series, just providing different resources, tools, conversations, helpful tips, events that you can plug into, just letting you know what we're really up to and what is available within our local Anne Arundel community to just help with this whole topic of mental health and suicide. So I'm really excited to bring on screen with me here. Give me a second. This is Samantha Straub. She is one of our newer community partners here at Life of Joy, and she's a school counselor with Severn School, right, Sam?
Yeah.
And also a therapist with Waypoint Wellness. So Sam, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invite, Joy.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to connect with you and to get our partnership going. Just to kind of tip everybody off, we have a youth programs team that is organizing a whole series of events for our spring campaign. And so Sam is going to be joining in on some of those things that we have coming up. The first thing is actually on April 23rd. Which is, let's see, 2 Saturdays from now, right? So we have our monthly teen social that is going to be happening at the Greater Severn Park and Arnold Chamber of Commerce building. That's a lot to say in one word, in one phrase. But we have, it's going to be a vision board, kind of mindfulness activity, gathering for our teens for ages 13 to 18 that can come out for that. And Sam is going to be making a guest appearance to that with our team and just talking a little bit about her summer program that she's going to share in just a minute. And so we just want to encourage you, if you have a teen in your world that could use some good, healthy social connection, positive influence, our teen socials are really just a space for them to connect, to build positive friendships, to talk about mental health, and to build mind, body, and spirit. And so that is really the purpose of our teen socials. And then we do have a monthly teen support group. And the next one is, it's always the first Monday of the month, typically, unless it's a holiday. So we have Monday, May 2nd for that also coming up, where Sam will be making a guest appearance as well. So Sam, tell us, I would love just if you can clarify, because I know you have lots of different hats. So you are, I know, a school counselor, you're a chair, right? Go ahead.
So by day, I am the chair of upper school counseling and wellness at Severn School in Severn Park, where this is my 10th year there, and my 25th year as an educator working with pretty exclusively middle and high school students. So I've got 25 years working with teens and their parents, of course. Most of it as a school counselor, but I started in the classroom and have also been an administrator for a few years. And then I also work part-time at Waypoint Wellness Center, which is a therapy practice with offices in Linthicum, Severn Park, and Annapolis. And I see there mostly teens and or their parents. And I work out of the Severn Park office on a part-time basis. So those are my two hats. And I have a sort of a small Facebook presence, Samantha Straub Consulting, and my mission is to provide support, strategies, and straight talk to help teens thrive. So Joy, your mission to support mind, body, and spirit around the promotion of mental health for teens jives very nicely with my own mission.
That's awesome. Well, and I can imagine that you have been super busy over these last few years, especially. So tell me, like, what do you seeing? What are you hearing the most? Before we get to your summer program and talking about that, what are you seeing in your practice?
Um, I would say most therapists would agree of teens anyway. I sort of am seeing like delayed depression. Like that especially this past fall. It may be lightening a little bit now, but teens carried so much for so long at a time in their life when they're not really equipped to carry much for too long. Not that teens aren't resilient, but this is all, the pandemic that we went through totally impacted some pretty important developmental tasks of adolescence, such as individuation, pulling away from one's parents, forging strong social connections with peers, forging relationships with adults outside of the family, some of the key learning goals that we have in terms of brain development and the development of, moving from concrete to abstract thinking and reasoning. These are all things that schools are designed for. But when we had to upend how we did school and put it online, it became very content driven. And on some of the other psychosocial benefits of attending school, we were all flying by the seat of our pants. And so we did the best we could with the platform we had under the conditions that existed. And I think teens and the adults who care for them, I mean, we're all parents and teachers, we're all tired too, and therapists. We did the best we could, and frankly, I think it was amazing, under the circumstances. But what I'm seeing now are teens who carried a lot of a big heavy load for a long time, and now they're tired. And so some increase in depression, particularly last fall, still seeing it a bit, and increase in anxiety. And I think it has to do just with the duration of carrying something challenging. It switched from being a circumstantial situation to being something just chronic and held in their body and in their brain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like and I agree. I feel like I see that too. I have two teenagers myself, and it's like this kind of elongated process. It's like a processing thing now that I think everybody's going through. It's like trying to get back to real life, quote unquote.
I had a parent ask me on the sidelines of a sporting event I was attending for my school, actually last week or the week before. So how is it? Restrictions have largely been lifted. How is school? And I said, well, I work at a pretty small school, and for the most part, programming is back to normal. We are gathering in classrooms. We're maskless. We are having sporting events. Prom's coming up in two weeks. But there's something like hanging over the experience, and it's I don't have words for it. It's kind of just a shared, collective intersectional trauma. I mean, that's the term we're using for what the pandemic was. And trauma is something that overwhelms our coping skills, whatever those may be at the time. Collective means we went through it together, and intersectional means it hit a whole lot of the different parts of our being, of our lives. And so having gone through that, the body holds that. The mind holds that. And so that's all. There's sort of an aura to that, I think, in school buildings. And therapists are, of course, seeing that in their offices as well. And I would imagine that parents would be nodding like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. It makes sense to me too. It's in my household also. And I'm the parent of two teens too. So
yeah. So we know the zone well, right? So what's helping, and what do you have up your sleeve with this summer program that you've got coming up this summer?
What's helping? Honestly, my personal philosophy of what helps all of us is relationships. I mean, it's through connection that we grow. It's by bouncing off of the world around us and by connecting with others and by forging a sense of belonging. So what is helping is certainly being together, but I also think there's like forging critical relationships with sometimes with therapists, but with teachers, with coaches, with other kids. This is helping. I mean, it is. It's just so delayed and so long overdue that it'll take some time, I think, to right the ship officially, but that is helping. On honestly, I think the good weather and the being outside, and I'm pleased to report that we're seeing normal, normal stressors for this time of year. It's prom season. And so around this time of year, at least at the high school level, there frequently are shifts in friend groups. At my school, we call it proma. Um, and I'm sad and happy to report that we're seeing it. No kid enjoys going through it, but this is normal. This happens every year around, like, who's going, who's not, who are you riding with, dates, what table are you sitting at, all of that. That's normal. That's normal teenage stuff, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that they're supposed to learn to navigate because it creates resilience. So interestingly enough, that helps, like going through the normal, bumps of adolescence and joys of adolescence.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like it's kind of like this, okay, we're getting back to the normal, but then there's still this layer of like processing the right? So it's yeah, it's just I think it's distinguishing, right? What's normal versus, what is, I guess I don't want to say PTSD, but what is a result of this whole just pandemic situation we've been in, right? So
Right.
yeah. Wow. Okay. So I so appreciate just the acknowledgement and the value of relationships because I feel like, especially during the pandemic, the kids were so isolated, right? So it's like, I think really just fostering places and that's part of what our teen socials and the teen support group, right? It's all about relationships and just so you know, you're not alone. You know what I mean? It just is so comforting to know you're not alone. You're not alone in your struggle. And so I so appreciate everything that you're doing with your different hats and that you're doing with us. So tell us about your summer program that you have.
Thank you. At Waypoint, I'm pleased to offer 2 summer programs. One is for middle school girls. It's a leadership and empowerment week in July 18th to the 22nd, and it'll take place in Severn Park. And it's really about empowerment of the self through connection and team building. And it feels kind of like a summer camp. That's the gist. It's not a therapy group. It's a skill builder, insight provider experience for the young women who will participate. And it was the highlight of my summer last year when I offered it. So I'm pleased to do that again. And the second program I'm offering speaks more to the earlier part of our conversation. It's called Slay Your Stress. And it is an anxiety and stress management skill builder workshop for high school age kids. So teens entering grades 9 through 12 in the fall. And that is also in Severn Park, July 25th through 29th. Both are from 9 a.m. to noon. And you can find more information about either workshop at Waypoint Wellness Center's website. That's a mouthful, but it's waypointwellnesscenter.com. Check on the services tab and then scroll down to summer programs. Neither is group therapy. They're both really activity based, and the goal is to learn about yourself and learn about how to care for yourself and be your best self in a group setting, because there's things that our peers can provide in terms of how we learn that just doesn't happen one-on-one.
Absolutely. That's so fantastic. I love the sound of that. And you might be seeing my daughter there.
I would love that. That would be wonderful. I'd be honored.
But yeah, I'm just so excited about opportunities like this. I think they're just so necessary. And that summertime I think is a good time to just kind of breathe a little bit and process, when they don't have all the stressors of school around them. So what a great timing for that. So I'm glad we had the chance to plug that, before we hit the summertime. So Sam, thank you so much. I just so appreciate your contribution and your willingness to be on the fly with me this morning.
My pleasure.
I had a lot of time to prepare, but if you could actually just put the link for your summer camp stuff in the comments of our video after we're done here, that would be great.
You bet.
Just so people can access that easily. And then for everybody else, that wants to check out all the other initiatives that we're doing for our spring campaign, which is really all about helping people rise up in mind, body, and spirit. That's why it's called Rise Up. And to really tackle, the challenges of mental health and those who've been touched by suicide one way or another, to really, offer different resources and support tools for them. And so we have lots of different, things that we're doing on the community engagement side, different events, not just for youth. We are here for adults as well, and families as a whole. We want to encourage you, go to our website. You can check out all of our spring campaign happenings. We are doing some, of course, it's our major fundraising campaign as well, between our spring and fall campaigns. So, get involved, check out what we're doing, follow us. Next week, we're going to be having Katie Linenkamp join me. She is one of our youth leaders. She's going to talk a little bit more about our youth program specifically. And can't wait to just share more with you as we go through this campaign. And Sam, thank you again so much. We're
Thank
looking
you,
forward to
Joy.
having
Keep
you.
up the amazing work. Life of Joy is doing really important work for our community and the greater community.
Well, thank you. It takes a village, as they say, right? So, so thanks for being part of our village. And we'll catch you next week with Katie Linenkamp, and we'll talk a little bit more about our youth program. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much, Sam.
Bye-bye.